me tell you how it will be.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Bob Loeser is in the house. We affectionately call him Taxman Bob around here. His, by the way, can be reached at taxmanbob@pdq.net. But we like talking to him not only about what's happening on the business front. He's that guy helping to really mitigate your costs in that arena, but also on the political front because he's extremely savvy. He brings a lot of knowledge and information to our conversations on this. Tough week if you're not a Trump supporter.
Well, first off, good morning. Good seeing you again. I want to shout out to my daughter, Brittany, who yesterday on the 4th turned 19 years old. She's still going to be my baby, but she's 19.
Wow.
And we're really proud of her. So shout out, Brett. Second, I guess a shout out to Trump and his, as Michael Berry would call him, Trumpkins.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what
I call him that too. I didn't know that Michael did that.
I don't know what Michael's going to do into the rest of the year through November, since he can't pick on anybody now. At this point in time, it's sort of a shame that Lion Ted dropped out.
Yeah, it is. I guess I'll be supporting Gary Johnson. Excuse my lost voice. Go ahead.
Gary Johnson, is he like a professional bowler? Or?
Former governor of New Mexico, great governor of New Mexico, libertarian candidate. Disagree with him on several issues, but way agree with him more on the plethora of issues than I do either Trump or Hillary. And really, they're both the same in my opinion. They're so similar ideologically, it's not even funny.
Well, I think if Gary Johnson's the one I remember, he's even more soft-spoken than Jeb Bush.
Yes.
Okay, so
that's his problem.
Even if there was nobody in the room, you still have difficulty hearing him.
That's correct.
Okay,
that's Gary.
And he's going to make his voice heard. Yeah.
Good luck with that. Yeah, I understand
I've got a statue in New York Harbor with a torch in its right hand, and I think I could sell it to you for cheap.
There you go. There you go. So
I think in answering your question, I think what is happening is kind of it's almost like a Reagan era, okay? I mean, I remember growing up, and somebody said Reagan's running for president, and Reagan's an actor. He can't run for president. And then she went on, you got to be kidding me. He's still in it. And you got to be kidding me. And now we have the same thing with Trump, and it's like all the stars have fallen in line, and it has to do with the fact that people are sick and tired of the lying, cheating, stealing people that are up in Washington. Yeah, I'm going, and I'm going to do this for our city or our state. And then somebody greases their palms, slips them a couple $100 bills, and now there's a new road going through El Paso when it doesn't need a new road in El Paso. It needs a new road through downtown Dallas.
Right.
And those are the things I think people are sick of. Can you imagine, and it's the same thing, if you hire somebody on that tells you that I'm going to do this, and that for you, and I've done it in the past, and you hire them, and you watch their performance, and you're saying, wait a minute, this is the same person that told me that they could do A, B, C, and D, and they can't even get through the first task of A.
Yeah.
All right? In business sense, attorneys would call it fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. And so I think the general public has said enough. If you guys aren't going to do it and you're professional politicians, then let's bring some guy off the street. Let him be an actor. Let him be a guy who led Apprentice. I mean, you just scratch your head and go, huh? And the fact on the other side that the same thing is happening with Hillary and Bernie Sanders. Bernie's a nice guy. By the time he gets into the presidency, if he does, he's going to be 85 years old, I think.
Something. He's going to be around 80. Around 80. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fascinating thing. I never thought I'd see a situation like we're in today. It just kind of shows you how low we can go, and to have two candidates who are so low in their positive ratings. I mean, his negatives are like 60%.
Correct.
How in the world do you get elected with negatives at 60%?
Correct. But you know what? It's odd. If you look at business as a sense, are most employers or CEOs favorites of the company? Not necessarily.
No, but most CEOs aren't running for president.
Right. No, but I guess what I'm getting to is but they get performance out of the people that they have working for them. Okay, whether you like them or not, okay, they get the job done, and when they get the job done, they pass on hopefully bonuses and raises and things of that nature. And I think that's what people are wanting to see America great again. Okay, enough with this getting sand kicked in our face or Russian fighter pilots, flying over our carriers in the China Sea. And you're saying, what? Reagan would have shot those down. and then said, you do it again, we're launching missiles towards you, rather than, well, it was harmless. Harmless until something happens.
Right.
All right? Defend yourself instead of be proactive rather than reactive.
Right. But again, I think in the end that a lot of this conversation is almost academic. I mean, I don't see how Hillary loses in November.
I actually disagree with you. I think he's going to kick her ass.
Wow.
I think that he's going to expose things that people have sort of lip serviced and said, well, yeah, I mean, 57% don't trust Hillary? And again, I realize 60 don't trust him, but I think he can spit a lot redder blood than she can. I mean, if she was her husband, I would totally agree with you that Bill Clinton wins in a face-off because Bill could get as nasty as, okay? But the fact that, I mean, Benghazi doesn't go away.
I like Bill Clinton.
All right, and Comey doesn't go away. I've actually enjoyed, over the years after his presidency, getting to know a little bit about the man and his relationships like with Bush and their foundations and things like that have made him a better person. Now, Monica Lewinsky made him an upstanding individual. Okay, no pun intended. But I really like the guy. Okay, same thing with John F. Kennedy. I mean, John F. Kennedy, it was a Republican and Democratic sheep clothes in the 60s. We've talked about that. In fact, my daughter's doing a paper for school, and I said, start looking up John F. Kennedy and see if he really was a Democrat or he really was a Republican. You'll be surprised. Yeah,
no question about it. By today's standard, he would have been on the right, if he were a Republican.
Right.
There's no question. And there'd be no room for him in the Democratic Party.
Right.
None whatsoever.
Right.
And when I say I like Clinton, I mainly mean his personality. He's affable.
Correct.
And I also say this about Clinton, is that he's incredibly smart in a pragmatic sort of way. Mm-hmm. He's not an ideologue. Mm-hmm. And he'll sit there and look at a situation and goes, oh, this isn't going to work out well. Right. I'm going to do this. And Hillary is an ideologue, and which is funny because her personality type lends to being more pragmatic, but she's not.
Right.
She's an ideologue. She's a hardcore ideologue.
Right.
And so she'll destroy the country if it's in her interest. 2 minutes left because I talk too much. Hey, tell me real quickly before we to wrap up the segment, what's happening on the tax front? What's going on with
your
your
deep breath,
class?
I am done with my major tax season with both April 15th turned into April 18th because of whatever day it was on the 15th, a Washington, D.C. holiday. So we move it to the 18th, and what happens on the 18th? We have a flood.
Including my house.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. A day and a half. So they moved back the deadline, but what that moved back for me is I have in months April, July, October, and January quarterly reports, payroll reports that are due with the feds and the state. And so all those were moved back 3 to 5 days business-wise because of all these other delays. So we were getting out, fortunately, Monday of this week, the 2nd, was the deadline. We could roll over, but we were getting payroll reports to clients at 10 o'clock Monday morning, which I don't like giving them in less than 24-hour notice, although they knew it was coming. And so we're done. So now we take a deep breath. We've got franchise tax reports that are due May 15th this month. And then we have extensions, loads of them. We have 200 personal extensions and another 40, 45 business extensions that the personal are due October 15th, the business are due September 15th. So it'll give us a little bit of breather, be able to evaluate our clientele, who's profitable, who's not profitable. And businesses should always evaluate that. Just because you like a client, if they're not profitable meaning that they, argue about their bill, don't refer your business. Okay, are always, well, I have got a question, or I got 12 questions on your return, okay? No disrespect, but my hourly is $2.50 an hour. If you take 15 minutes at a time, you're going to get a $60 bill. If you're going to argue about the $60 bill, I can't answer your questions. Right. I mean, you call a doctor and say, hey, doctor, I got a twinge behind my left ear. Okay, well, scratch it. Okay, but he's still going to charge you $50 to tell you to scratch it.
Right.
Okay, same thing with everybody's business. You should, as a business professional, evaluate your clientele once a year to determine, do they stay or do they go? Like that song, do they stay or do they go?
Exactly. Simple as that. Bob Loeser, Taxman Bob. We call him Taxman Bob at pdq.net. Your phone number?
713-953-1272. 713-953-1272.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com.
How it will be.